Last week, me and Judah decided to throw a dart at a map and go exactly where it lands. This idea was inspired by a few other YouTubers who had done a similar thing before, but ours was a little bit more customised because instead of using a dart, we had a modified Nerf gun with a pin in the end to shoot at the map blindfolded. The map we used was fairly big, and it showed a central portion of England which included cities, mountains, lakes, and other quite interesting areas. But the place we landed on was none of these. Instead, we landed on the small village of Castleton. We headed off here on the day, but due to bad weather and lack of time, we decided to postpone it for the week later, when the weather was better and we had more time on our hands. So, a week later, we began our mission. We headed off in the car on the 1 hour trip through the Peak District, before we eventually arrived at the village of Castleton. Not going to say anything.
No, not yet.
I mean, there's a lot of cars. That down there is Castleton Village. We don't know what's there, but we are going to find out.
Probably nothing.
What do you think, sir?
A spa.
Our expectations were somewhat low, but this soon changed as we spotted the castle and visited some local shops before testing out the local cuisine. This ice cream is so good. Then, after finding the tourist information centre, we discovered that the village offered way more than we'd expected. So it turns out there's a bunch of caves here, which I'm guessing people are here to see. And there's also a castle on top of the hill which we walked past earlier. This place has a lot going for it. So the tourist information centre is massive. It's got like its own mini museum. Inside the visitor centre, we learnt about the many mines and caves in the village before deciding to join a tour and go into one of them ourselves. We are here.
We're going to the Speedwell.
Okay, so the cave was fully booked. So yeah, we're going to try another one, a different one. The one up there somewhere. It's not our day today.
It's not our day.
Sadly, they were both fully booked, so instead we headed off to the castle. It's closed. The castle's closed. At this point, it seemed like the day was just destined for disaster, but we decided to check out the final cave that we hadn't been to yet, known locally as the Devil's Arm. And just as we got there, we managed to book on to the final tour of the day. So, off we went, into the cave with the biggest entrance in England. When we threw that dart a week ago, we had no idea that we'd end up here, but we had no complaints at all. The Devil's Arm might have been a bit tight, but it was definitely worth it. Whoa. That is sick. This huge cave was certainly the biggest that I'd ever been into, and with features like a small waterfall and a slide that had been used in an old Narnia film, it was probably the best as well. That's the creepiest Santa I've ever seen. This place was so cool. So much better than I expected, to be honest. Thoughts on it?
Decent.
Shoes are ruined. Before we headed home, we wanted to check out the scenic landscape of Castleton by going on a walk suggested to us at the Tourist Information Centre. Another cave. Just paid 30 quid to go in a cave and now we found this one that you don't have to pay for. Fair to say this one is not... it's not as good. A little further up the path, we were met with a surprise view that certainly didn't disappoint. Oh my days. Last week, when we shot them out with a dart, we never expected it to take us to a place as amazing as this. Although we started off a little bit pessimistic, this day out at our village in Derbyshire had become our adventure to one of the nicest places we had ever visited. From the local food to the huge caves and the stunning landscapes, Castleton simply had it all. And had it not been for the dart, we would have most likely never even given the place a chance. So, we're just done in Bakewell now. Okay, so we are just done in Castleton, and honestly, it was so much better than we expected. So the takeaway from this video: go somewhere new this summer, explore somewhere near you, explore somewhere anywhere, and it might give you a surprise.